At my birthday party, my father's new wife tried to humiliate me in front of everyone. People kept laughing and my family told me to stay quiet. I just kept smiling until she started bragging about her high-profile job. Then I played a clip that changed the entire atmosphere in the room. "Oh, please look at her. Like she's running some big business." My father's new wife, Carla, said the sentence loudly enough for the whole room to hear. People laughed. I kept staring at the plastic cup in my hand. It held cheap red wine I had bought from the corner grocery store. My hands were trembling slightly, but I held the cup tightly. It was my birthday gathering. I had turned 34 today. The apartment was small, on the third floor of an old building in Brooklyn. On the kitchen counter were bags of chips, a cheap cake and a few bottles of soda. I had done what I could. 2 years earlier when I lost my job, life had started slipping slowly through my fingers. Carla crossed one leg over the other on the couch and spoke again. "Honestly, I don't even understand how she's still surviving." Someone burst out laughing. My father cleared his throat. "Just, don't start drama, Emma." I hadn't even lifted my head yet, but somehow he already assumed I was about to respond. Around the room sat a handful of my cousins, some of my father's friends and a few of Carla's colleagues. Most of them barely knew me. To them I was just the daughter Carla liked to joke about whenever she needed a punchline. Carla took another sip of wine and smiled at me. It was the kind of smile people wear when they're certain the entire room is on their side. "I told people at the office today that I was going to my stepdaughter's birthday party," she said. They asked what she does. She paused. Then she shrugged. I said, "Honestly, nothing very impressive right now." Laughter rippled through the room again. The sound echoed in my ears. The last 2 years had been a quiet war. When my job disappeared, my health insurance went with it. Student loan notices showed up at my door every month like clockwork. I worked 2 part-time jobs just to stay afloat. Morning shifts at a diner and overnight hours at a call center that smelled like burnt coffee and old carpet. But none of that sounded interesting when people were telling stories about success. People like success stories. Or they enjoy laughing at failure. Carla pushed her hair back over her shoulder and leaned forward slightly. "But I guess I'm lucky," she continued. "My job is actually pretty impressive." Several people nodded politely. She looked straight at me now. "There's a large medical supply group in New Jersey. I'm a regional manager there." My father looked at her with unmistakable pride. "They handle contracts worth millions," he added. Carla tapped the table lightly with her finger. "That's what real work in the real world looks like." Something inside me didn't break. Instead, a strange calm spread through my chest. I smiled softly. Carla seemed to notice for the first time that I was still smiling. "What's funny?" she asked. I set my cup down on the table. "Nothing." My father sounded irritated now. "Emma, just don't ruin the evening." I nodded. "I won't." Then I reached into my pocket and took out my phone. Carla narrowed her eyes. "Oh God," she said. "Is this about to be some emotional speech?" A few people laughed again. I unlocked the screen. "No," I said calmly. "I just want to show something." Carla shrugged. "Sure. Go ahead. Entertain us." I connected my phone to the small smart TV mounted on the wall. It was an older model a friend had given me when he moved out of the city. The screen flickered to life. The room grew quiet. Then the video started playing. Carla's face appeared on the screen. She was standing inside an office holding a folder, speaking casually to someone just off camera. "Relax," she was saying in the video, laughing lightly. "The hospitals won't even notice the equipment is refurbished. We'll just bill it as new." Someone in the room inhaled sharply. The video continued. Carla's voice was clear. "They never check the paperwork anyway. They just approve the invoice." My heart was pounding now, but my voice stayed calm. "That was recorded 3 weeks ago." Carla's face had turned pale. What is this?" I looked at her steadily. "Remember when I took that temporary data entry job a few months ago? It had been the same company. The same office. While entering shipment records, I had started noticing strange patterns. Duplicate invoice numbers, equipment serial codes that didn't match purchase orders, and billing amounts that didn't quite make sense. At first, I thought I was misunderstanding something. Then one afternoon I overheard Carla speaking with a supplier in a quiet corner of the office. She had been laughing. And that's when I quietly pressed the record button. My father suddenly stood up. Emma, what is this supposed to? I spoke gently, almost casually. The FBI will be receiving it tomorrow morning. The room fell completely still. Carla's voice trembled. Are you out of your mind? I met her eyes. For 2 years I had felt like a failure. Every laugh, every whispered comment had stuck in my mind like a bruise. But while working through the company's records, something had shifted. The patterns, the numbers, the details. It all started to make sense. For the first time in a long while I realized something important. I wasn't stupid. I had simply been quiet. And quiet people notice everything. Carla leaned forward, anger flashing across her face. Do you even understand what you're doing? I shrugged slightly. Telling the truth. My father stared at me now, stunned. No one in the room was laughing anymore. Carla leaned closer and said in a low voice, your life will still be exactly the same after this. I gave a small, almost peaceful smile. Maybe not. I lifted my phone again. Because there's also something called a whistleblower program. A few people in the room exchanged uneasy looks. In cases involving medical fraud, the government sometimes rewards informants. Sometimes very generously. For the first time since the video started, the confidence had disappeared from Carla's eyes. Only fear remained. I glanced toward the cake sitting on the counter. The candles were still burning. Someone must have forgotten to blow them out earlier. I spoke quietly. By the way, it really is my birthday today. No one said anything. But for the first time all evening, it felt like everyone in the room was actually listening to me. And the strange thing was, what I felt wasn't revenge. It was relief. Sometimes life doesn't give you dramatic miracles. Sometimes it just gives you a single moment. The moment when you finally understand that you were never weak. You were just waiting. If this story touched you or kept you hooked until the end, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us continue sharing powerful, emotional stories like this. Thank you so much for watching and being here with us. We truly appreciate it.